Hello everyone, it's Jessica and welcome back for a little bit of a different video than what I would normally film for you all, but today we're going to walk through how I set up my monthly budget. I've been doing this for almost 4 years, pretty much since I've had a steady income with a full-time job. I've written out a monthly budget. I've gotten a lot more organized over those past 4 years and more specifically written out like exactly where my money is going, and also like planning how that money is going to be spent rather than just like writing down how I spend my money. Obviously maybe not obviously, because it's been brought to my attention that some people don't do this, but I've always tried to stay within a certain amount for each of my budget categories. Like I can't spend more than this amount on rent, or I can't spend more than this amount on food or whatever, and I've always known that I cannot just buy all sorts of unnecessary things because I'm on a pretty small income. So this is my budget notebook. It is seriously a budget notebook because the two covers do not match at all. These are left over from my Happy Planner days when I bought a new cover for my Happy Planner, and I figured I would just get these little mini discs and buy some of the note paper with a Michaels coupon and create a little notebook. There are some other things in here besides my budgets, but it's just like random notes to myself and like brainstorms of like, here's where I could possibly live for cheaper if the space opens up and stuff like that I'm not going to share because it has like phone numbers and things like that. When you open up my notebook, the first thing I have in here is a list of variable expenses by month for the next like 7 months. So for example, my vehicle registration is always due in July, and this year I'm going to need a smog check because I have to do that every other year, and so I need to prepare for that. I have not set up a sinking fund for this yet. Usually I have enough left over in my budget that I could afford this just to pay cash out of my monthly budget, so I don't have a sinking fund for that. I am setting up a sinking fund for car maintenance though, because that one, usually when something breaks on my car, there's not enough money left in the monthly budget to just make it work, so I do need to have a separate fund for that. But yeah, so stuff like that. I've also written in things like plane tickets because I visit my boyfriend every other month, so I need to work that into the monthly budget. Airport parking because I do park at the airport when I do visit him. This month I had 2 tires in the budget and grad school applications, stuff like that. So that's this front page. This is new for this year. I needed to know for sure like how much I could save each month because it totally depends on like what other expenses come up that month. So I just did this whole list, and as you can see I have nothing written down in August through October yet because really most of my expensive stuff is due like the first half of the year, which is, you know, fun, but that's just kind of how it goes. The second page over here, I have it just like a rough sketch of like how much plane tickets are going to cost for the next 6 months and how many points I could potentially have with Southwest by flying, and if I could get a free flight for June. Unfortunately, I'm going to fall just short of getting a free flight for June, but that's okay, we'll work it out. And then I have a Happy Planner pocket in here. I bought like a whole pack of these a while ago, and they're starting to fall apart, but that's okay because they're like 3 years old, so I would expect that. And then here I just have like scratch paper. Like this one is me trying to calculate how much PlannerCon is going to cost for March. Like I've already bought the ticket, but there's things like parking, and I have to cross one bridge. Actually, I have to cross 2 bridges to get there, and one of them you pay the toll on the way there, and the other one you pay the toll on the way back. So I'm just trying to calculate all of that, and then obviously gas, and gas prices just keep going up when you don't expect it, so it's great. Then on the other side of that pocket, I keep the receipts for that month. So as you can see, I have an America's Tire receipt because I had to go get tires. And then I have an Erin Condren perpetual calendar that I got with my regular planner this year. So I'm using this year's perpetual calendar as a savings tracker. So every day I just write in what I spent money on, and then at the end of the month I will total up how much I brought in, how much went out, and how much I saved. So that's all of that. And then I did this is like my little signature like line lately. My siblings pointed it out because I keep writing it on birthday cards, but like when I didn't spend any money on a day, I did my little squiggly line, and 2 dashes through it. And I've had a lot of days this month where I did not spend any money, which is super nice. And obviously I'll do that for the rest of the year. So I'm really liking this. I also have a Google Sheet set up. If you don't know what Google Sheets are, it's basically Excel, but it's free if you have a Gmail account. So I would definitely go check out their monthly budget template if you don't want to buy Microsoft Office. It's a really simple template. You can customize it for whatever categories you want, and then it'll do the calculations for you as to how much you brought in, how much is taken out, and how much you've saved at the end of the month. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm not a mathy person. I pretty much know how to use all of the Microsoft Office products except for Excel. So I'm glad that there's a very simple template out there to put all the numbers from my budget that I like having on paper so that I can have it in front of me, but that I also want to have in a digital format so that I can, very quickly see how much money I have left for the rest of the month. So let's get into, whoa, I need to pull my chair up a little bit. What are you running over? Okay. So let's get into the actual monthly page for February. In pencil, I have some of my bills written down over here. So I'll end up erasing that once I write all of this in, and I have it written down on a separate piece of paper how much I want to budget for each amount. So I have 2 pens here. I have a Papermate Inkjoy gel pen in black, and then I have a Sharpie pen in red because I like to write in the categories in black and then the expenses as I enumerate them in red, just so they stand out. So I've been doing something new in 2018, and I've been decorating very minimally my budget, because I watch a lot of budget videos lately and they use pretty things and I like pretty things. So I have the Erin Condren designer sticker book here. This is actually my backup copy that a planner friend gave to me because she was getting rid of all her Erin Condren stuff because she's a happy planner gal. So I already have this one that I got at PlannerCon last year for free as a gift. And then this is my backup one because she's used a lot of the stickers in it. So I figured I would pull from this one first because the one that I actually was mine to begin with has more stickers in it, so I might as well use up the one that has fewer stickers in it, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to take this and put it over the date marker and the word notes, because that's not what I'm using this for, and I think I might have actually got this down straight the first try. And then I am going to use this over here once I write in everything else for the month, just to have like a little like motivational saying. And then to write in February, I'm going to pull from this sheet, and I think I'm just going to use this label. This one's a little jacked up, so, and not really though, you can't even tell. Yeah, I figure I'll use it in my little budget planner rather than my regular planner, since this one gets beat up a lot more. Okay, and on there I'm going to write February 2018 as nicely as I possibly can, although, you know, sometimes you don't write as nice as you want to. Okay, so the first line in my budget is my income, and I write an asterisk. I like having a very consistent format for my budgets. Like if I do something one way in January, that's like how it has to be for the rest of the year, because I'm a little weird like that. And I'm not going to share my income in this video just because I don't really want to establish a salary history online. Actually, in California where I live, it's now illegal for an employer to require you to disclose your salary history, so I'm just not going to in any public forum. And yeah, I don't really care to. It's my business. so I'm just not going to share it. I totally respect other people who do, and you know, I'm grateful for that, but I just don't want to put that out there. So as my income comes in, I will write in the different numbers there, and then second line is expenses, so I do a little minus sign and then an asterisk, and expenses. I write in my little squiggly line signature thing. And then we will get into the different categories of expenses. So number one is rent. Rent is the number one for obvious reasons. And I think I'm gonna write in the black ink first, and then we'll go in with the red ink in a bit. Next is utilities. So I live in a house. I'm just making sure I spell this correctly because there's a lot of I's and E's, and you know, I know how to spell, it's just sometimes your brain gets ahead of yourself and you add in a letter that wasn't supposed to be there. Anyway, so I live in a house with 2 other people. I have 2 roommates, and we split PG&E, which is Pacific Gas and Electric. We split garbage and sewer, which is 1 bill. We split water, and we split we split Comcast for our television and internet. I really wish, honestly, that I didn't have the television, because I don't watch it, but it's not really up to me whether or not we have it. I would much rather just have the internet, and it's probably just a package deal anyway. It probably wouldn't bring down our rate at all. But our Comcast bill is like our highest bill. It's annoying. It's more than annoying, it's like really frustrating. So then I have car insurance because I have a car. In 2018, I no longer have a car payment because I paid off the remainder of my loan in December. So I used to go rent, utilities, car insurance, and then category 4, which is phone. Oh, it's gonna bother me that I did my N differently here than I did in the rest of the words because I'm weird. Okay. And then I write 1 through 4 total because these are my fixed expenses. And then I write money left because that's the money I have left to work with for the categories that are variable, and that I have a little more control over how much those cost. Except for gas for my car, I really don't have much control over that other than to not drive, you know, for fun much. I do commute to work. It's a half hour each way, so I have to purchase gas because I work farther away from where I live, or I live farther away from where I work. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have a commute. If like I controlled rent prices, I would live closer to work, but I don't, and I live in the, I live in the Sacramento area, but I work in the San Francisco Bay Area, like right on the outskirts of the Bay Area, what's considered the Bay Area, so rent's expensive. We have a good housing crisis, if you haven't heard. So my rent is $600. Utilities, I have not totaled that up yet. It's gonna be about 85. Actually, it's probably gonna be more like 75 for this month because we haven't got our water bill in yet. It's billed every other month, so we haven't gotten the latest one in. Water is the cheapest. It's like $8 or $9 once you split it up between 3 people. Okay, so I'm gonna skip utilities. My car insurance is gonna be $79.92. This is going to go up in the next few months because I have USAA and they give you a lot of different discounts, and my good student discount expires because I've been out of school now for a while, and I guess it just expires after a certain amount of time, which sucks, but hooray for being a grown-up. Okay, and then my phone bill is $45. So let me go total up how much. Let me go check the spreadsheet that my landlord has for utilities and see if she has the water bill in yet. I don't think it's coming in yet. And then we'll write in the totals. Okay, now our water bill for December and January has not yet come in, so I am not going to total up this right now because if it comes in a few days when my rent and utilities check is actually due to my landlord, I will want to pay for that now rather than push it off to next month, because next month's gonna be super expensive because I have to pay for December PG&E, which is, I've already got that bill. It's like twice as much in the colder months as it is in a regular month. It sucks, but whatever, I can't control it. I mean, I can by turning down the heat, but when you live with other people, you don't always get a say in that entirely, you know, compromise. So, okay, what's next? So my December utilities will be like about $85 altogether, which I've learned is super high, but I haven't been able to find a place with cheaper rent. Okay. Next category is gas for my car. Gasoline, so that's category 5. When I had my car payment, I had exactly 10 categories, and now that it's only 9, it kind of bugs me, but I would rather not have a car payment than have, you know, an even number of categories in my budget. So we have gas. So underneath each of these categories, I write budgeted amount. And for January, I budgeted $130 for gas. That was not enough because gas prices went up. I'm not really sure why they went up. They were supposed to go up after the hurricanes happened in the Gulf, and they didn't really. They went up a little bit, but not much. And then they were supposed to go up again in like October because we had a new 12-cent gas tax go into effect, and they went up a little bit, but not much. And now we're in January, and suddenly gas is almost $3 a gallon. I'm not really sure why. So I'm gonna budget $150 this month, and the reason why I budgeted $130 for January was that was like the average that I spent in 2017. Like, I had some months where I spent like only $100 on gas for the whole month. So I thought I was budgeting well, but then things changed and there was no news of it, and I was like, what happened? Okay, so then under budgeted, I write actual, and in this space here, I will write in red each transaction for gas. So that is that, and then I just do that for each of my other categories. So my next category is groceries. And for that, I will budget, what did I say, $130. It's just me. I probably should have done some sort of disclaimer at the beginning of this video. I live with roommates, but I'm legally single. I have a boyfriend, but he does not live with me. And I do not have any children. So I don't budget a ton for groceries. Although to me, this is a decent amount of groceries. Like, I still buy somewhat nice things to eat. Next category is dining / takeout. I'll just write dining. Sometimes I write takeout, sometimes I write dining. It just depends on how fancy I feel, apparently. And for this, I'm gonna budget $75. I was budgeting like $100 for this, but realistically, if I just like pack lunch almost every day for work, I can really drop this number down. And I budgeted $75 in January, and I only ended up spending like $50, and that included like going to a relatively nice dinner for one of my friend's birthdays. And then the next category is shopping. I really have tried to cut back on this in the past few months. Not because, like, I technically could spend more on this now that my car is paid off, but I have other things I want to save for, like traveling and just like having a good savings account in case something happens. I have 6 months of living expenses saved. It's not a ton of money. I mean, I'm sure if a lot of people looked at my savings account, they would be like, that's not 6 months of expenses. But for me it is, because I have living costs that are pretty minimal compared to a lot of people. To me, it's a lot, just based on my income. But I'm sure if some people looked at my savings, like I just said, they would be like, that's not enough to live on. I'm like, no, I mean, I could live on that if I just cut out like everything fun, which I would if something disastrous happened. But yes, I do have 6 months of my current living expenses minus like these two categories. Basically what I consider living expenses are these. So I have to pay my rent unless like something bad happens and I decide to cancel my lease. I have to pay for utilities. I absolutely have to pay my car insurance if I'm gonna have a car. You have to. I pretty much have to pay my phone. I suppose I could cancel that if something bad happened. Gas, food, I have to pay for these. So my living expense, my emergency fund is based off of these, and these are eliminated from that because I'm not going to be shopping if I'm in a, emergency status. Okay, so for this month though, it's my boyfriend's birthday, as I previously mentioned. It's also my sister's birthday on the exact same day, so I need to buy some gifts. Plus, I want to buy a little something for myself because I've been good lately, I feel, and I've been saving money. So, how much do I have here for all of that? I have 65 written down here. Like I said, that's including gifts. I don't buy super expensive gifts for people because, most people who are very close to me, if I'm buying you a gift, like, you know how much I make. So, like, you probably know that, like, I'm not going to be buying you, like, an iPad for your birthday. Or, like, something really expensive. Okay, so there's that. Category 9 is what I call incidentals. This could be, you could just call this other. You could call this random. I don't know. I just call it incidentals. I don't remember why I started doing that. But this is everything that, like, really varies every single month. So this month, what do I want to do? Do I want to write out each of these? I don't know. No, that's going to take up too much space. So the total for how much, hold on, I gotta add this up. Ooh, hello, red battery light. Okay. So the total, I have $40 for parking. It might be 30, but I'm gonna overshoot it and say 40. I'm going to visit my boyfriend, which means my car will be parked at the airport, which costs money. And believe me, I have looked at like other transportation options to get to and from the airport, but they cost more than the parking. And you have to sit there and wait for them. And sometimes I can't do that because I have to be somewhere immediately after I get off a plane because I book things at weird times to save money. Okay, and then I have a graduate school application. This is a maybe. I'm not sure if I really want to, how badly I want to apply to this school. I've already applied to 2 schools, and each application fee is $55, which to me is a lot of money, and they don't waive it for graduate students. They could potentially waive it for undergrads, but they won't for graduate students, which I object to, by the way, because you're processing far fewer applications for grad students, because grad students are going to be much more selective about where they're applying because they have much better idea of what they actually want to do with their lives than an undergrad, a 17-year-old who's applying to like 15 schools. Okay, end brand. So there's $55 for that if I decide to apply. And the other thing is that I have to send them my transcripts, or at least I think I do. I emailed one school and said, do I need to submit my official transcripts? And the deadline was coming up, and I didn't know when they were going to get back to me, so I requested my official transcripts. And then they got back to me and said, oh no, you don't need to do that unless we offer you admission. So I just wasted my one free set of transcripts. So if I do apply to this other school, I'm going to have to pay $2 to my university for theirs, and then I have to pay $20 to my community college district because I attended all 4 community colleges, and so I have to request transcripts from each of them. It's so dumb. They're all in the same district. I don't know why why there's not like some like centralized transcript. Okay, sorry. This is a budgeting video, not like a rant video. I'm sorry. So altogether, that's $117 for incidentals. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, so I'm gonna write in parentheses 40 SMF parking plus 55 app plus 22 transcripts. I'm gonna do a lot of thinking over the next month as to whether or not I really want to apply to this school. It's kind of like a backup school in case I don't get into the one that I actually want to go to, which sounds horrible, but I mean, we all have backups. This is a big decision. We gotta have backup plans, you know? So yeah, this stuff isn't due until like mid-March, so I have February to think about it. Okay, so those are all of my categories. I hope you could see all of that. Wow, cool. I flamed it. Framed it perfectly. Okay, so that's it as far as how I set this up. And then at the bottom, what I do is I draw my little asterisk for income. That's why I do the asterisk, so that you know to look down here. Even though I already know to look down here, I don't need someone else. I don't show my budget to anybody else, so like, why do they need to know? I write budgeted, actual. Budgeted is just my wages. Actual can take into account mileage reimbursements if I have to drive somewhere for work, any cash rewards I get from my credit card or my bank, or any, like, if I returned something from a previous month in this month, I'll write it in as income, even though it's basically like a credit, you know? So yeah, I'm not going to fill that in right now, as I already explained. I just don't want to have my income out there in case like a potential employer is watching. That's mainly, I don't know why a potential employer would be watching this, but you never know. That's my main reason. It's not like, I would be totally honest, honestly. I would be totally honest, honestly. No. I would not mind being honest about how much I make. But I just don't want to, like, jeopardize future earnings. Does that make sense? And then I write in any savings I have. And I know, as far as savings go, some people would be like, well, just, you put the money aside for savings first. Why are you, like, have a budgeted and an actual savings? Those should be the same. But if I have, like, extra income come in from reimbursements, this number will be bigger. And then sometimes things break and you have to pay for them, and yeah. Okay. So I think that's everything. I'm gonna erase these over here and put in my little decorative box, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've got my Erin Condren sticker back out, or sticker book back, and I'm gonna put this, it did not erase very well at all, by the way. Put this below the second line here so that I have 2 lines to write in any income, or actually my income, not any income. I need some income this month. It's a little variable. Okay. These stickers started peeling up off this paper. I don't think they match very well with this paper, or they mesh very well, whatever you want to say. So the ones on January keep peeling up, which is kind of annoying, but I didn't reposition these, so I'm hoping these will stay there. And then I don't really know what to write in here for this month yet. I'm going to think about it. For January, I wrote, be at peace with yourself, don't try to distract yourself by spending money on things, which is something that I'm apt to do when I'm stressed out. So yeah, so I hope this video was helpful to you. It's a very basic budget. Yeah, very basic. So any savings that I have, I do have those now designated for my sinking funds, so that I specifically have it written out, like, okay, you're saving money now beyond your 6 months of living expenses, like, what are you specifically saving those things for? So my 2 big ones right now are car maintenance and a vacation fund. You know, if I feel like I'm in a good place to go on a vacation, I want to have money set aside for that. I hope this all made sense. I've been watching a lot of different budgeting videos lately, and I like how I have my system set up. Obviously everyone sets theirs up differently, but I really like where I'm at with mine, and maybe you'll want to use this template, maybe not. I would definitely check out the Google Sheets budget though. Wow, I'm stuttering, sorry. Because I found that really helpful. I like having a written budget. I also like having a digital one. I know it's kind of, redundant, but hey, whatever keeps you on track. So thank you so much for watching. If you make budget videos, let me know. This is my very first one. Normally I just do pretty planning videos, but I thought I would try out this after watching some other people's and saying, like, I want to try doing it, but I don't know if I want to, and they were like, you should do it. So I did it, so you're welcome. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Bye!